If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. Good night from the Dusty Wheel. As we sit around here, smash to black.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And yes, as you see there at the bottom of the screen, apparently Prime Video has canceled the Wheel of Time. I think they took my rant on Wednesday a little too seriously, or they just listened and they were like, Innkeeper said, no more Wheel of Time if we can't hold the quality, and they were like, we can't hold the quality. Apparently we have to cancel it because the Innkeeper said so. Something happened, and to discuss that and to kind of commiserate with everyone here that has shown up to talk about how they're feeling. Basically, we couldn't not go live when we saw the news. So I'm grateful for everyone in chat and for my three guests so far tonight. Let me welcome to the show Bree, Anas, and Carly. How are you all doing?
I am sad.
Yeah, right. Did you hold up? What is? That's not even like a Dusty Wheel mug. That's a sad mug.
No,
that's
he-
like
He's drinking from the
Wow.
mason jar.
Yeah.
It's a mason jar. Wow. Yes. To Rain, you know it's serious when the Dusty Wheel starts on time. Yeah. Not a joke. I mean, Carly, what was your first reaction to the news?
Well, I will say, just to sort of look, I don't want to be the bearer of confirmation, but I am seeing a lot of people saying things along the lines of, I'm going to wait until we have confirmation from Amazon.
Yeah.
We need to consider this direct confirmation. When something like this comes from a trade like Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, it's legit. I mean, as somebody who works, at another outlet, I can confirm that this wouldn't be coming out if it wasn't coming. This was given to them from Amazon. So with that in mind, I found out about it alongside everyone else because Deadline had the exclusive on it. So we didn't really get a heads up on our end. So my confirmation came alongside everybody else. And yeah, it's also the kind of thing you do not want to see at 3:00 on a Friday, because that to me says they are just sort of trying to, shove this in at the end of a news week and then move on.
Yeah.
As we all know, though, I don't think anyone really wants this to go down without some kind of fight to show that, the show should continue in some form, whether that means getting picked up by another streamer or something like that. I mean, I would totally be 100% down if Apple TV wanted to swoop in and save Wheel. I kind of feel like it would be a perfect fit over there, but
by the way, there was no allegiance. It's like, pick somebody else then. Don't. I don't know if you felt this. There's no allegiance here to the streamer of whatever that was the Wheel of Time. So picking somebody else would be the option here. That's what all of us, I'm sure, would say is then okay, not Prime Video. Who else would? It's wild, I guess, to have the 97% score, right? To see something like this, come out of a season 3 at 97%, right? I mean, that's just, it's wild that they couldn't get their heads around figuring this out for more seasons after like getting this much good press and feedback from, you know, viewers and critics alike. You know, Bree, I've seen some of what you're feeling. Yeah, maybe share that with everybody.
Well, listen, I'm just going to say Apple and Amazon have been like button heads in the ebook era for like a decade. Come on, come steal it. Steal the shine, take the good stuff. I would love to see some competitiveness there because, you know,
yeah.
I am really bummed. I mean, I love the show so much. I think season 3, we know that they had, for all that there were some like changes that made some people, you know, they were controversial. We had episodes like Road to the Spear and stuff that were just,
yeah.
I mean, I have seen multiple people say like some of the best television they've seen, not just like fantasy or this show. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I do want to point this out. You posted this, and I want to post this. You wrote, "I will say that as devastating as this is, I'm deeply glad that the show brought so many of you into my life. I have hundreds of folks on here I connected with just from fandom, and I'm not going anywhere." Yeah, I mean, we're going to be all over the place during this stream, you know, like commiserating, you know, being really pissed off, ranting, and just talking about kind of, you know, probably thinking about just all the good things that have happened. I would agree with that, Bree. Just these streams, like the amount of fans that we've not only talked to in chat and on live guests, we've had definitely over 300 guests on the Dusty Wheel among fandom and just like a cross section of fans around the world. And, you know, that part will always be what has always made the Wheel of Time like the best for me is just the friends, right, that I gained, the relationships I made. So that piece of this, to your point, I saw that and I was like, Bree's too positive in this moment. No,
I'm
sure.
only positive about all of you so we can get in one big room and have a rage fest. Is the family needs to get together and scream.
Yeah. Love you all, Rain said. I just can't believe it. Yeah. And it always is about these relationships. I'm seeing a lot of people saying they canceled Prime, and Innkeeper. I'm not intentionally avoiding coming to you for some thoughts, but I want to go back to Carly just for a moment. I just want to see you do this the entire time for like a.
That's yeah.
Like Carly, for you, like you came into the Wheel of Time when? Like remind folks that are watching. When is the first time you picked up a book of the Wheel of Time?
For me, it was reading the first book after watching season 1. So I was sort of doing the tandem, not quite tandem read. I didn't do a tandem read, I don't think, until season 2, because then I started reading ahead.
Yeah.
And now I'm ahead of where the show was. So halfway through book 7.
Yeah.
So I'm halfway through the books now. Still haven't finished because there's so many other things that I have to focus on work-wise, and I've really actually been trying to be more intentional about getting back to reading because ironically reading has become a retreat from a lot of real life stuff right now. So yeah, the show, if anything, turned me onto the books. I think that was the case for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, it's also one of these instances where I feel like I sort of have to wear my fan hat, but also wear my professional hat because what I'm seeing is like the really boring answer to all of this, which is just money stuff. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's like the most boring answer I have for people that are asking why this all happened. It's like, it just goes back to the money, which is, you know, the reality of a lot of things when it comes to cancellations. So, but on the other hand, you know, I think the sentiment that I've always kind of take away from things like this, because I think I've had to sort of, I don't want to say I've had to harden my heart to cancellations, like working in the field that I do, but I also have to sort of know that, comfort myself with the sentiment that, you know, what was made can't be taken away. You know, the books that exist, the show that exists, like that doesn't go away just because it's ending. But at the other hand, I'm like, well, you know, shows have been saved before too, so I don't want to say that it's like a hopeless scenario, but I understand that people are feeling a lot of things right now from, you know, anger, sadness, everything in between. So that's all perfectly understandable and justified.
Yeah, But you brought up a good point, which is for those of us that don't want to see it ever go away, and when wanting to go back and watch a season 3, right? That's up to the streamer, right? I don't know if there are DVDs for season 3. You know what I mean? If Prime Video like takes it off at some point, that's the part that I'm hoping fans out there got a copy. Something like going back, and especially for me, season 2 and season 3, we have something there. By the way, thank you all for being here. There's over 500 of you have heard the news and jumped on with us. How are you feeling? 48% of you said save Watt. 23% said cancel Prime. 20% said numb, and 9% need my friends. And a lot of you wrote me and said, how is there not an all of the above option? And that's just, I wanted to see what you were feeling. And a lot of you are saying save Watt, right? There was like there was a, right, and renew Wheel of Time, and now there's this is typically when fans get involved, right? Like something gets canceled, and then it's like, okay, save it. There's a lot of sentiment towards saving the show, and so I guess there's hope there. Innkeeper, do you have hope about the show goes elsewhere, but it gets saved?
I think so, right? I mean, if you think about just from how much money someone can, if you talk about money, right? Like if this is a money decision, can someone make money off of this? Potentially, yes. I mean, you can make the case that certain things like The Expanse, I think Prime picked it up after Sci-Fi, and that's again a book series that similar to the Wheel of Time, I guess, in some ways. So you could, I always think of Cobra Kai, but I don't know if that was a cancellation and Netflix picked it up, or whether it just went YouTube to Netflix for some reason. But just like there are different shows that have jumped platforms, so it's not unheard of, I think. I mean, as a Wheel of Time fan, do I have hope? Yeah, yes, I have hope. Yeah. I'm trying to be like analytical about, this is, I mean, I hear this all the time, right? People talk about, and maybe Carly can speak to this, I don't know, the third season kind of phenomenon, or, shows getting canceled after the third season, and whether, this is not something that a well-rated, pretty well-viewed show, like it's not about that. It's about the landscape of what TV and streaming looks like. Not that it makes any sense, but just, trying to be analytical about why certain decisions are made. And yes, it's about money, but maybe it's also about just TV in general.
Yeah. I mean, just to give context, and this is like, again, I'm speaking just from my own understanding of how a lot of decisions are made. But as far as I'm aware, after 3 seasons, you have to renegotiate contracts. And that it usually starts with the actors. I don't know if that extends to every creative involved, but it's usually actors. And a lot of times, after 3 seasons, the renegotiations involve asking, trying to negotiate for like better pay. And so when you have a large ensemble, I can see that maybe after 3 seasons, you're trying to renegotiate contracts. A, it's a very lengthy process. Yeah. And B, when you have big names in your cast, it gets harder and harder to like, not, I mean, again, it's like the money thing of, how much it costs to produce the show. Then you're also factoring in actor contracts where they're coming to the table and saying like, because at the same time, at some point, if actors feel like they are not being compensated, they might say, well, I'm going to go look for other opportunities elsewhere, as they should. Yeah. This isn't like, I'm not talking specifically Wheel of Time. This is just sort of a hypothetical scenario, right? I think with network, it's a little different. I think that with network, it's usually after 5 seasons, the renegotiations happen. Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of times you'll hear like a show is sort of in renewal limbo because the contracts are being renegotiated, and it's usually at the 3 season mark, post third season, I should say. So that was kind of my suspicion when this was being dragged out, specifically with Wheel of Time, that it was about coming back to the table and trying to figure out, if they could, and at the same time, like my experience with shows ultimately get canceled, it's the cost to produce weighed against viewership numbers, weighed against, and if the company feels like the viewership numbers don't justify the cost of production, that is often what is like the deciding factor. My read from the Deadline piece was that's exactly what it was. They even have a line in there, I think, about how the executives loved the show on a creative level. And it also
Right.
seems like negotiations stalled between Amazon and Sony. So I don't know what the impasse was at the end of the day. I mean, it's kind of vague in the Deadline piece, but yeah, it's that to me, that was my understanding and kind of reading, as vague as that article was on the reasons given, like,
Yeah.
you can kind of piece together based on.
Yeah.
Can we just like
that's what
decide? I was just thinking like
Daniel Roman wrote,
ahead.
it hurts my soul as I write these words, but it's official, so there's no getting around it. Prime Video has canceled Wheel of Time, its sweeping fantasy series based on the books by Robert Jordan after 3 seasons. The news came from Deadline, which received word from their sources that Amazon and Sony had decided not to renew the show after lengthy deliberations. According to the article, like you said, Carly, the cancellations are financial in nature. Just kind of what you were pointing out. The executives are very happy with the show creatively, but the numbers aren't in its favor. I don't know, Bree, do you feel like that's just this is the business? Or like kind of where are you at with this kind of thing where it's just like, is it the industry just, it demands too much from a success standpoint, or the money is just bringing a world like this to life? If you just don't hit a certain number, some executive somewhere just cancels it and that's just the c'est la vie?
I mean, it's hard for me to say with Amazon because I think Amazon has a lot of internal metrics which we can't always necessarily understand. Like I'm pretty sure that how many people they believe are subscribing just to Prime because of it probably weighs a lot. And I mean, and I only know about Amazon because through the book arm, because I am published by Amazon Publishing. And all I know about that is, at least in the book side, they're very, very metrics driven. And, they have their, it's very, and I appreciate that. It's never personal. It's just, here's the numbers. Here's what we're going to do because of the numbers. Yeah. And I'm assuming that, I think that sometimes something can override that. I'm pretty sure that Jeff Bezos is a big fan of Lord of the Rings. And I think that maybe Rings of Power may have a little bit of plot armor on the metric side, perhaps because of that. But I mean, I'm not sure. I think I read the article exactly the same way Carly did. It seemed pretty clear, and we've been hearing rumors about negotiations going on and on and on for a while. So I think, sometimes, and this happens with books all the time, you can write amazing books that everybody loves, and if they're not seeing the numbers, they're not seeing the numbers. And
I mean, actually,
they don't always tell you what the numbers are that they want to see.
Well, yeah, but you have to kind of believe it, right? And you get these other numbers that we watch, and it's like, at what point? I saw a cost analysis. I thought they showed that like Wheel of Time actually had made money as compared to other shows that they might be keeping, even if it was a little money after the first 2 seasons, whatever it was. I thought I saw an analysis where it was like compared, and maybe it was on winterscoming.net. I'll have to go find it. But yeah, the idea of like, what is the magic number? And I hate giving, look, I'm sure there is a data approach, but it also feels like it's just like a kind of like a, wind approach at the company, where it's like
an excuse, right?
Yeah, like the data is such an easy thing to just be like, well, I didn't have the viewership numbers. It's like, what? In this case, of the streamer, its total numbers of whatever, new subscribers, whatever it is, however they come up with it, it just, I guess in the end, kind of just sucks either way. Seeing the trajectory of a show continue to improve, it's just like, shoot, like, I think what would the next 3 seasons have looked like if they had gotten that same support, and that crew could have built on the success that came before it. I just see another season that's even better than the one that came before it. And so, like, that's the kind of thing you want to see building over time. But again, it didn't have, according to these companies, what they wanted to see, or their lengthy deliberations. And that's why I kind of like, when I call BS on the viewership numbers. Why are you in lengthy deliberations other than just the financial aspect, right? viewership numbers were enough for someone on some side to justify something in order to deliberate lengthily, whatever, but clearly not enough for them both to agree on something. So that's why I don't think the whole like, well, it's, viewership doesn't feel like it's, again, it feels like this says very, very much a financial conversation of how much, maybe how much they're cutting up on each side of that, which I don't know, this whole like two or three companies trying to come together on these type of things. And I guess maybe it works for movies, but in this case, it just sucks for TV when it comes to, wanting to see additional seasons.
The one silver lining, I mean, Loyal lived, right? Like now we can just be like Loyal lived. That's what I'm taking away from this. If like, they're not going to give us that. That's, yeah.
100%.
Why did we
also,
have to see the
Conger,
right? Exactly.
Opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Why did we have to see, the deaths that we got in season 3 is,
yeah, wasn't there like a thing in the article that was, what does it say? Hold on. There was like right at the
something
end.
about giving us closure.
Yeah, like what was that? What is that line?
Cliffhangery.
I don't know. Like
I was like,
the line was, with that possibility, the show's passionate fan base in mind, the season 3 finale was designed to offer some closure. Okay, I got to ask this question. About over 400 of you voted on this one. Will you cancel your Prime subscription because of this? 43% of you here say yes. 19% say already have, and 38% say no. Okay, that's reasonable. 60-40 split. I now want to ask, do you agree the season 3 finale was designed to offer some closure? And
Joe.
I'm going to say yes, I've read the books. No, I've read the books. And then I'll say yes. Look, guys, this is like in real time, I haven't read the books.
Imagine Rand's just going to be channeling now forever.
Ever.
He's never going to let go.
It's like, let go, Rand.
There's your poll, everybody.
I mean, that cloud, that black storm, that looks like closure. Like that's going to wipe everything out. Like the end of the world is here. That was a closure.
The cloud over this whole conversation. Yeah. I currently have I like this. Nomagard said, I currently have the cancellation open. I will cancel after I have the Blu-rays. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Carly, you cover, like, I've seen you, like, obviously covering so many shows. And so, like, what's this experience like for you where it's like, how often is this just like, is this part of just, this happens to almost every show you're covering at some point, or did this one affect you differently than other ones?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I really have had to sort of develop a thick skin when it comes to just the industry. I mean, I will say too, like right now it does really feel like things are a little bit more fraught. The shows just, I mean, at least in my view, it really feels like shows are not being given enough time to develop an audience. And I think we're seeing that across streamers. Like, I do not think this is not unique to Amazon, right? How many shows right now are being canceled by Netflix after one season? I just think the streaming landscape, the economy, I mean, there's so many factors that are just depressing and no one, we don't want to get into it, but like,
generally the landscape of financial and companies trying to chart their, like, their own goals when it comes to just making money and staying afloat.
Well, right. And this like arbitrary definition of success, right? I think that's why so many people, like, to go back to the Netflix, I think that's why so many people kind of got pissed off with them, because they would cancel a show and then it would be because of these mystery numbers that no one had access to. And then at one point they said, well, we'll start being more transparent with the numbers. But I think, for those of us who like really follow some of these things closely, it was kind of, it's too little too late at some point. So it's, sometimes it just feels like a miracle when anything gets renewed these days, or even certain shows that get made. You're like, I don't know how this is possible. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've just sort of had to develop a bit of like I told my husband got it from his desk when he saw the news and like gave me a hug, and I was like, I almost don't have time to be upset right now. Like I was in the middle of doing 20 other things at work and
Yeah,
had to just, make space for those emotions alongside 20 other ones. But
Right.
yeah, I had kind of a roller coaster today too, because it was like I had two of the most creatively fulfilling interviews I've ever done, and then like have found out this news 2 hours later. So, it's like you're kind of having emotional whiplash at
Yeah.
some point. But yeah, it's tough. It's difficult to, I think for me, knowing what I do as a critic, like you do champion shows and you do believe in shows on a professional level, but also just enjoying them. I mean, as a fan, and so
Yeah.
it is tough to see anything like this happen. But at the same time, I'm also like, well, there's 5 other shows I also have to keep I have to keep writing about. So,
Yeah.
I think I have to sort of juggle
Yeah. No,
all
that makes
those
sense.
feelings simultaneously is where
No, I
I'm
mean,
at.
I ranted about this on Wednesday a bit, which was honestly, I don't their whole like lengthy deliberations. I'm glad they had them, because I wouldn't have wanted anything less than what we got in season 3. So honestly, if they were like, fine, we'll do this for this. If it was just like, if we're just cutting into the bare minimum to get another season, I wouldn't have wanted it anyways, honestly. Like, I would rather season 3 was the end than get like a knockoff feel to like, oh, I would hate to watch a season 4 and be like, wow, season 3 was so much better, like, and they really gave us like a version, right? The mirror world version of a mirror, whatever, like the less real version of that. Yeah, Bree, like, how do you feel in the end? Where it's like, were you kind of just like, I'd rather still see, like, sure, maybe it's half the budget or whatever, maybe it's 3/4 of the budget, whatever it is, a portion of the budget, and then, but at least you then like we would get some seasons and maybe they could pull it off. Or are you on kind of that side of the fence with me where it's just like, no, really, if they're going to curb it to the point where quality suffers, then let's not have it? Like, how do you negotiate that as a fan?
I mean, I feel like I would not want. I think it would be, as much as I would love to see more of this stuff, I think if we had a season 4 where the quality went backwards, none of us would be having fun. Everybody would be out here talking about how this show sucks now and it shouldn't have been renewed. I think it would have been, a rough ride for us if they didn't have the money to commit, I mean, part of me is just like, give me anything. Go get Billy Zane. Go to his house and let's just do this.
FXX in the middle of the night, sure.
go get Billy Zane. You never know. I mean, if they sold me on so many characters I didn't like, I bet they could sell me on like, I bet like an actor coming in like that, I'd be like, and Billy Zane just kills it as Billy Zane could be like Moradin.
Billy Zane can play all of them. We could just get Billy Zane in the house for a weekend.
Billy
he can
Zane,
do the whole thing.
Billy Zane as Moradin that would have been awesome. I would have been so into that. I saw some questions, and Innkeeper, I don't know how you would say what you answer these people, these fellow fans in chat who basically were like, well, we haven't read the books. Maybe you aren't intending to read the books. What do they do now? Like, and how do you feel? I mean, what would you say to a fan that, I'm putting you on the spot, of course. What would you say to a fan that says that to us as fandom here? Like, we've read the books. We can fall back on a conversation about the metaphysics of X thing. Like, where do they go at this point?
I don't know. There's like, I don't know how many videos we have to watch that you can watch that are like spoiler free, but there are people out there who have covered the Wheel of Time to the extent that they can at least get the story out of, right? If they don't think they can read the books, I think that's the easiest. It's not. I wouldn't say it's easy to read a 15-book series, but
it's easy.
But like that's like the place to go. Like there is a really good story that you can pick up and read. But outside of that, I think the Wheel of Time fandom and the books have spawned a lot of these amazing content that we see, with Unravel the Pattern, a lot of these podcasts, and you could try to get some of that closure through watching some of that content. I really don't think there is a better answer than just read the books, though. I think that's like the like.
No, I
yeah.
mean, no, but you bring up a good point. You know, while season 3 didn't really offer any closure, in my opinion, the idea of closure as far as like, you know, how do you move on from here? Just so you know, like people are asking, like, what about the Dusty Wheel? I don't know how much you know of the history of the Dusty Wheel, but basically the history of the Dusty Wheel goes back to 1998 when it started, as you will, as Theoryland. So there's always new turnings. There's always new ages for kind of what we do as fandom. So I never think like, oh no, we're not going to live stream. Of course we're going to live stream. We're going to live stream about the Wheel of Time. This will not happen. I can promise you this. This will not become a Buffy the Vampire Slayer live streaming platform. There's a deep joke there, but or any other series. No, like we're always at the Dusty Wheels. It's the Wheel of Time, so it's not going to turn into like a Sanderson live streaming platform, whatever it is. We'll always be talking about the Wheel of Time, but if you go back and look, a lot of our stuff as we were waiting for seasons of the TV show to come out, just digging into the books. We'll dig into previous seasons of the show. You know, we'll be doing live streams where we're just getting together as fans to provide a place where we can just hang out. So for anyone that's worried, like the Dusty Wheel's not going anywhere. But by the way, Faded Chiad said, famous last words. You can all hold me to the fact that this will not become a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. By the way, though, we should do one, though. It won't become a platform, but when there's a reboot, we should totally do a live stream about Buffy. You're right, Faded Chiad. Maybe I should have used Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's like we finally pivoted. It's like this is the you like start with that old school homepage. It's like
do you have Buffy? Do you have that Theoryland image? Is it on like the Theoryland page?
I doubt it.
I posted it somewhere. Like I might have posted it on Twitter. Can you go look at Theoryland Twitter? Just, is it possible to see there? That one might. It might be in there. The Dusty Spike.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Dusty Steak.
The Dusty Steak. Oh my gosh, I hate these things that happen like this because all of a sudden I'm like, maybe we should. Maybe we should do a live stream. Renew Buffy. Salia, Watt Idol will continue every year. Yeah, I mean, Watt Idol, by the way, is going to be this summer in August. We're reclaiming August as a fandom. And so Watt Idol's happening. And yeah, I don't see... If fans really want to get together and do Watt Idol, we're going to do it. You know, not that there won't be changes. Maybe it'll be like Buffy Idol, you know, the Buffy wheel. Yes. Yeah, we're not going to go anywhere. No, this is like, we love talking about the Wheel of Time. Now we'll be doing 12-hour live streams. Probably not randomly, but who knows? I find a good reason to do one here and there.
I think that you need to do like a couple 12-hour live streams where you just tell the story of the books for all the show watchers who want closure.
And then land.
So I'll answer this question. I don't think I have an image unless you found it on
I found
Theoryland. You do it? Oh, okay. So send that to me. Okay. So we're going to answer the first question of why Buffy. We're taking a little bit of a... This is the Dusty Wheel. We do this. We're going to take a little bit of a twist off to the side here. We'll answer this question. And while you send that to me, I'm going to show this one. Light Blinded Fool said, I want to see more regardless of budget. I say we buy some cameras and create a fan-made season 4. There you go. 629 of you have voted on this question. Do you agree the season 3 finale was designed to offer some closure? Of the yeses who read the book, only 10% of you. No's who have read the book, 75%. Yeses, I haven't read the book, 1%. No, I haven't read the books, 13%. So yes, most of you, whether or not you read the books or not, did not believe that they offered closure. And 600 votes. Look at you guys. You're into it, man. You are fired up. I love it. And I was about to ask another question, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah. So like, how do we propose this? Like, would you, how about I say this? In what case would you want them to give us more Wheel of Time seasons? Case is a terrible word, but we're just going to run with it. 8 or multiple 8 episode. No, I don't know how to say this. Same quality. Lesser quality,
Origins quality,
Origins. Wait, Origins quality. That's good quality. What do you mean?
I know.
Origins
That's okay.
quality?
Yeah, that's nothing.
Oh, okay.
That was just an Origins joke. Like,
You know,
give us
Would-
Origins.
would you want the Wheel of Time to continue if it couldn't maintain the same quality? How about that? No. Has to have. Sorry, doing these live is always fun. Has to have same quality. Yes, would accept lesser quality.
Billy Zane. Make one of them Billy Zane.
And then Billy Zane, yes. I like it. See, there you go. There's the spirit. Okay. If it couldn't, sorry, there's the question. There you go. I think that poll makes sense. It might be a Dusty Wheel poll. I don't know. Innkeeper, did you send that to me?
I did.
Is it on
DM?
It's DMs for X. Oh yes, here you go. So if you ever wondered why Buffy the Vampire Slayer comes up, this is a graphic I actually remember making back in 1999, which is, yes, if you were good at math, it's like a long time ago. And I was going to like do the same Theoryland thing with Buffy and Angel because I really liked those shows at the time, and I made this whole thing, and I had like a section of the site that dealt with it, and I never posted any theories there. So it was always
coming
like this,
soon.
It was like it said coming soon. So that's what you get. That's why Buffy. If you had a question of why we brought that up, yes. Sorry, I probably missed like a whole so many comments here. Rocking the MS Paint. I don't know that. No, this is probably Photoshop 4.0. This is Photoshop 4.0
That's
back
some
in the
real
day.
bezel action there.
Yeah, like that was. Look, you have to remember, there's a little bit of. I mean, this probably bad in quality, but I don't know this image itself. But yeah, there's a. I liked that Theoryland right in the middle. I think that's all I really cared about in that whole image. As you can tell, there were going to be other ones too. I just never filled these in, but there were only going to be 4 because that's all I could fit in this image. So
There is a mirror world out there.
there's a video exactly. That's the most 1999 of graphics. Thank you. That is as 1999 as 1999 gets. Thank you. That warms my heart. That does. If you know the phone number, I would like to call us. Our call lines are open. We'll post the phone number soon. But if for those of you that might already know it, we'll give you first dibs on calling in here. Turning of ages past Photoshop. Exactly. Ashland said that's too good for Photoshop. Exactly. I agree. We didn't come to Theoryland for the graphics. That's true. So, oh my gosh, how did we get to Theoryland? That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, for you, Bree, like, what do you feel like is next for you when it comes to the Wheel of Time?
I mean, I found the fandom again. Like the last time I was in the fandom, people were making their sites on GeoCities.
Yeah.
So I found the fandom again because of the show. But you know what? I am here because you guys are fun. I have made so many friends. It has been my internet home for like 5 years now. So I'm going to keep hanging out. I wish I could sing. I'll continue to cheer Watt Idol. It's not my skill set. I will show up for the Buffy live stream. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes.
I'm going to 3D print everybody. I'm 3D printing my Forsaken Emmons Field 5. So I held up a lane for that, of course. And I just threw it. So yeah, I'm going to hang around and I'm going to have fun. We've always got the books. We've got speculation. We can argue over what would have happened in season 4. I have many opinions.
Right.
So, I think we'll find a way.
The season 4 speculation would still be fun to do. I totally agree with that. By the way, and also tonight, I love these guys so much. They changed it. It used to say renew and now it says save. There you go.
Nice.
I'll post this link if you want to be there in chat. That is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Save Watt Wheelie Awards. If you want to go there, you can find the link to voting, and that should be a lot of fun. If you want to just kind of be around fans after this news, that'd be a great place to commiserate after our live stream's over. That's later this evening. So Yeah, I totally understand this feeling. Like, I would not be happier with lower quality. Still, I would take anything. Yeah, maybe that should have been like an option in there. If like doesn't matter, I'll take anything.
Yeah.
So no, I totally understand that. The answers so far for this
Joe's
question
like,
about
polls are closed.
polls are closed. You can't vote anymore. Sorry, but you can still go watch. Reopen your polls, man. Reopen the polls. So 400 of you voted on this. Would you want the Wheel of Time to continue if it couldn't maintain the same quality? No, 46. Yes, I would accept lesser quality, 33%. And Billy Zane, your Billy Zane answer got 21%.
I know what the people want.
Carly, I mean, you've stepped into the Wheel of Time recently. Like, what's your feeling, kind of generally speaking? Like, once you've kind of fallen for the characters themselves, is the quality so much what you're seeing so much, or you just want to get to the end of the story? Do you tend to be like tell me how this ends, show me how this ends, I want to get to the end, or do you have kind of a metric where you're like, nah, I just can't really watch this anymore. The quality of television I want to see is most important.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I know, just in terms of these last 3 seasons, they've had to really be intentional about how much they can really fit in, and a lot of that is just, again, like the nature of streaming television. Like, if in a perfect world we would have gotten 20 episode seasons of everything, but like with 8 you already have to scale down, and then characters already have to be scaled down. So like my worry would be, yes, what if we got another season but then it was only like 6 episodes, and then you'd have to cut out even more, and so at what point are you sort of having to sacrifice so much of the story to keep it going? Like, it almost feels like you'd be cutting off a lot at the knees, and then, at what point is it still worth continuing? I mean, it would be great to sort of have some kind of sense of, I think there was early talk about what the initial number of seasons that were planned, and like maybe they could share what the plan would have been, to like the story would have been in its continued form, what did Rafe have planned if they had, been able to do the whole show. At the same time, I think for some people maybe it'd be better not to know at all, and we could rely on our own speculation and like the idea in our heads. But yeah, I'm sort of the mind that I don't know that I would want a lesser continuation, knowing that a lot had to sort of be sacrificed on the altar to like even get what we had. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like it's a miracle we got Rowidian in the form that we got it in, because knowing how much has to get trimmed out just for budget reasons. But at the same time, it's a bummer to not be able to see certain future events too. So I don't know. I'm a mixed. I think I'm of two minds of it. Like, it would have been great to have more, but at what? If it had been like really diminished, I don't know that I would have wanted that. So
yeah, we got the Finn too, which was pretty awesome. There's like, I think I'm there too. I don't like the idea of just keeping it going to get to the end of the story if it's gonna suffer too much I'd rather like end on a high note. I do believe that season 3 was a high note. I just thought there were higher notes to hit here, right? Like, so it was like, I didn't want to end, because I think there was like great stuff that could come in season 4 and 5 and 6, just knowing the story and knowing what they'd already done. So, by the way, to any of the cast and crew that are out there, like, I don't know how these things work. I don't know how your contracts work. I don't really understand your industry. And I totally understand if what I'm about to say is like, no thanks. But, this is to say fans love your work and would love to still talk to you. Like, I don't know how that works. So again, like, I get if you can't talk about it because there's some contractual thing, or you don't want to like make studios angry, or I don't know. Again, I don't know what the sensitivities are in your industry, but we'd still like to like hear how you put this together, what maybe even had coming up, what were your thoughts, where did you plan to see this, where did you want to go, how did you, how did this come about? So like, we'll be reaching out. We'd love you to reach out. We'd still love to chat. And this is also, obviously, hopefully Natasha, also hears this someday, because I'd like to talk to Natasha also about Lanfear. But this is to everyone. I know I kind of obsess about that character a lot, but no, I think I'd love to, learn more about where you were going with your characters, especially for those actors we haven't even spoken to. There was so much of that this season, which was awesome. It's a sadness that we missed that in season 2. but honestly, the cast and crew out there, the writers, I would love to speak with you, kind of like what your thoughts were. This is the part we were not looking forward to right now. We were looking forward to it at the end, right? Like once we got through the show, to be able to kind of discuss, all these questions that maybe you couldn't answer, but now hopefully you can. And so, yeah, know that the Dusty Wheels doors are open to you. And if you'd like to reach out or just expect us to try to reach out to you, it's okay if you just tell us, no thanks. But know that we're going to, because we'd still like to, I can tell these crazy hardcore freaks that showed up today there's been concurrently over 600 or 700 of them right now, and they're really still appreciative of what was done with the show and the improvements made. So know that much love and much appreciation to you, and come, let's chat. Let's keep the conversation going, even though the show has been canceled. So Innkeeper, your thoughts about where things are at now. What is your next step you're going to take as a fan? Is it go cancel your subscription? Is it to angrily rant on social media? Is it, to go to the Wheelies show tonight? Are you going to plan on going to the rewatch? Yeah. Are you hoping to try to save Watt by joining a campaign to save it? Where are you at?
Yeah, I mean, I think to a certain degree, it's hoping not to have to be a part of a campaign, to save Watt. But obviously, that it's something that comes with fandom, being in a community like this, and supporting people, and being part of an endeavor like that, and that a lot of fun in being part of this is going to crazy stuff like the Wheelie Awards and doing long rewatches. There's always things that are really that I always look forward to. So What Idol is probably this might be the impetus where I'm I don't know if I'm going to do a What Idol parody, and I'm I think I should do a What Idol parody.
This is changing
this is just being digging deep into, okay, well, there might not be more material to look at from the show, so this is a good reason to do that. Yeah, so it's a strange, there's a very strong I was taking a somewhat of a break after season 3, and now it's well, not this type of break, right? Where it's where you can't, kind of, you're stuck in a way. But yeah, I think the big next thing that I'm looking forward to is, Wheel Time Idol. I think that will always be a highlight of the craziness that this fandom does.
Yeah, I 100%. And by the way, I'm going to show the teaser if you haven't seen it, because it's freaking awesome. I want to answer this poll here. Would you want the Wheel of Time to continue if it couldn't maintain the same quality? It ended up being 48-32. Billy Zane still carrying 20% of that vote. Shoot, I was going to ask. I had another poll question in mind. And now I'm what was it? Oh, yes. It's who would you want to pick it up? In Prime Video's absence, who would you want Sony to partner with? People have said Apple. I've seen HBO. Who else are there out there that would Hulu?
I don't know.
Is there any
they do
real
have
chance
a Handmaid's Tale, but
is there
Does
a
Hulu
chance
have their
Netflix
own thing?
would ever
Does
pick this
Hulu
up,
do
or is that not
their own content?
Yeah, they're doing Handmaid's Tale, and they've got a spin-off of it coming too.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I'm sure that have others. I'm not sure what they are. Though.
Disney.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
Disney.
I'll say Apple, HBO, Disney, and then I'll add this one. Who, other. There you go. In private absence, who would you want Sony to partner with?
You're no way Hulu was picking up.
Although to be fair, Disney and Hulu were under the same umbrella.
Oh, are they?
So,
Okay.
There you go.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're
I just feel like
Disney
Disney's
sounds more hopeful.
Disney's the top partner in that partnership, right?
Yeah, it's all on the same streaming platform at this point.
True. That's
If you have the package.
I'm annoyed.
Yes, they
I don't know why.
combine.
I don't know why this is going to bring this up, but I am. Like I keep on thinking I can go to the Hulu app on my like Google TV, and I go in there and it never works. And I'm always like, I have to go to Disney to go to Hulu. It bugs me. If you have not seen this, if you don't know what Wheel of Time Idol is, but you know what Origins are, and you know what the Origins video was that came out that was supposed to be released in August, then you'll understand this. If you don't know what Idol is and you don't know what Origins are, this will make no sense to you. So enjoy.
I hear something in the distance coming near.
Hey, do you hear that?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh my gosh, Lauren is just brilliant. So yeah, to me, it's like one of those. Let's move on to like What Idol and focus on some things that we can control at this point, because we can't really do anything about what they've chosen here, other than supporting like Save Wheel of Time, like things that fans are doing. So be on the lookout. Make sure to follow on social media. Just like you can follow Dusty Wheel, we'll be talking about anything we see coming up like that. You can always follow Watt Series. Like Watt Series is a great people to follow when it comes to news. Make sure you're following Watt Up. They're also John will always make sure that you're aware of what's going on. So, but yeah, if you don't know what Wheel of Time Idol is, just stay tuned, because it's a lot of fun. It's a fan parody challenge. And we're on season 5 of it, and the previous 4 seasons have just been freaking amazing. So I imagine this one's going to be just as cool. And that advertisement that Lauren put together is just like, Bree, are you ever shocked when you see something Lauren does and you're just like, okay, I know what he's capable of, but I wasn't expecting that. Like,
I have to say, I have shout out to Lauren, because I sent so many people to the unraveling videos that he did this season. They're so good. And if you were in this chat and you haven't watched them, because even if you are a fan, he catches all these little things and the implications of them. And if you haven't read the books, it's a really narrow line to walk with explaining the lore without spoiling stuff. And I really think he does a great job. So that is my shout out for those unraveling episode videos. They're really good. And
100%.
This was just unhinged, but in the best way.
It was so good. I was watching Carly's face, and the tuba or whatever that thing is like the serpent comes over. It's like the smile there was so great. By the way, if you're like, what else can we do from you can join us at WatCon. Sharon Gillam will be there. So if you want to talk about, again, if you want to stay in the Wheel of Time mode when it comes to the TV show, that's a great place. We'll be celebrating, I'm sure, the Wheel of Time TV show there. I will be there. And show up if you love the Wheel of Time TV show. That's the best place to go and just geek out in person with people. MalkyriaCon is just as awesome and excellent. I'm trying to find the page for MalkyriaCon while I'm talking about it. There we go. I'm probably on the wrong page. Rob, you can tell me if I... But anyways, look up MalkyriaCon. MalkyriaCon is a European Wheel of Time con, and the first significant Wheel of Time convention out in Europe. And I went last year, and it was a blast. So if you're out there and you want to stay connected to the Wheel of Time and fandom and the TV show, you definitely can do that too. So the Hills of Tanchico, yes. Also, if you just replay the Hills of Tanchico, that'll probably make you... We should do that. My
3D printer plays it when it starts. So that's the best thing.
I need to do that. Feels like the right kind of vibe for this moment. It might take me a second to get there. They still have season 3 up. That's good.
I'm just looking at our Instagram, and people talking about. I'll probably cancel Amazon if this course isn't corrected. Jessica Boone joined a little while ago. Hi,
oh,
Jessica.
nice.
Brian
Oh,
Schoch joined. Hi, Brian. I feel like I've seen Kai. I've seen Taylor Napier post on Instagram. I saw Kai post a note. I don't know if people saw other cast and crew post reactions or just thoughts. Eyes and ears out there.
Here you go, everybody. Enjoy this, and yeah, thank you for that update on that. But enjoy Little Hills of Tanchico.
Hi.
I'll tell you a tale of a lad of 20, a terror-born boy with coin aplenty, looking for love and more's the pity. Now he's lost in the hills of Tanchico City. One's not enough and three's too many, and two bring a man to his steez. Hey! Hills of Tanchico. The hills of Tanchico. These hills will flatten the whole trip. These hills will make a man out of you. The hills of Tanchico. The hills of Tanchico. How's that for the daughter out of Andor?
The scream of like, that's my friend. Oh gosh, that's so good. There we go. Cynthia said the only upside for me is now I can tell my husband what happens later in the books.
Find your friends.
Thank you for the tip there, Cynthia. That's hilarious. Over 400 of you so far have voted on this in Prime Video's absence. Who would you want Sony to partner with? 54% of you with Apple, 35% HBO, 7% Disney, 5% other. Apple, to me, has put out some of the best shows. I love watching Foundation, Silo. There's like one about like space travel.
There's For All Mankind and
For All Mankind.
Constellation. They have
Mankind
so
is
many
so
good shows.
great.
It's like every Apple show I put on, I'm like, how do they make just good TV every
Yeah. So I would totally Sony partnering up with Apple to bring us more seasons of the Wheel of Time would be amazing. Make it happen, Sony out there. I haven't watched Murderbot yet.
Is
so I
that
need to watch
Apple
that.
too? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Apple
it's
too.
so fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
yeah. Dark Matters is good. Yeah, Apple's some good stuff, man. Some good stuff. Frozen Flame said, "I'm not convinced that Sony wasn't the bigger problem here." Yes. Who knows? Some people probably know. And if I'll just be watching John's channel because John will probably know before any of us know that answer. But no, I would love to see an Apple and like Foundation's next season's coming out. That's gonna be awesome. I want to kind of turn the conversation a little bit. And by the way, do we have a caller? Oh, we do have one caller. Let me bring them into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Well, hey guys, this is William. I called in several times back in the first season and haven't talked to you since.
Wow.
I saw the news and saw you. I still had subscribed to your channel and saw you were going to go live, so I thought I would jump in. Long time Wheel of Time fan.
Yeah, when did you start? Tell me.
ahead.
I always like to ask those questions. I mean, I've been reading it since the beginning. Jokingly, I've been reading it since '89. Yeah. No, just kidding. I've been reading it since 1990. When did you start reading the books?
I couldn't tell you the year, but it was the 90s. I was in college, and one day I just said to my college roommate, "Hey, you got anything interesting to read? Because I'm bored." And he handed me Crown of Swords, and that's where I started.
You started the Crown of Swords? What?
Yeah, I started. And
It's a blue
afterwards, I
book.
came downstairs. I was like, "So wait, is Elijah the bad guy? What's going on? I'm so lost."
You started. That's the wildest story, William. You started a crowd of stories.
Right.
You didn't go that much
Well,
further,
so-
right?
and-
Like
and it gets-
you didn't go. You went back
Then I
and then
started.
kept going, right?
I went
Okay.
to Eye of the World. Yes, then I
Okay,
got Eye
okay.
of the World. And, you know, by the time I got through book 6, it made much more sense.
But I wanted to point out
and
something to
then-
you though. The fact that you read book 7 and we're still in, that is hardcore, man. That is like, you were
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I am hardcore.
You got lucky. It wasn't
I
book
am
8.
so hardcore. So we used to do free-form role-playing, text-based chat room role-playing
Nice.
on AOL.
nice.
And I started the Eye of the World Guild and instigated real-time role-playing on AOL.
That's awesome. That's so good. Oh man,
Yeah.
I love going back and thinking about the absurdities and of the time that we all spent digging in. Anyway, yeah, I mean thoughts today. I don't know if you were a fan of the show or not. Yeah, like tell me where your head's at.
So, you know, I was worried, but then I just accepted that they had to make changes. You can't take 15 book series, because I'm going to include Newspring, and shove it into a TV show. I don't care if it's a 25 episode season, you know.
Yeah.
It would still take years to get any real depth into it. And so I would have to remind myself of this often when I would get angry about things. I was very upset when they killed someone.
Sure.
But you know, I'm like, but overall, I could understand what they're doing most of the time and see where they were going with the story. And so I did enjoy it. As for, you know, people talking about canceling their Prime membership, I had already done that. After I watched the last episode, I canceled just because I had already decided I didn't want to give them my money. I've ended up saving money because I no longer do impulse purchasing from my phone. I have it delivered tomorrow.
That's smart.
You know,
That's-
but my plan was, you know, when the next season came out, I would resubscribe to watch it. But guess they won't be getting that money either.
What were your thoughts finding
Yeah,
out it was canceled today? Like, what were your thoughts?
So, I mean, I had followed enough news to know that, you know, it hadn't been greenlit yet, and I figured it was probably coming because I just didn't see them really dragging their feet as long as they were planning to greenlight it.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Where do you want to see it? I mean, do you want to see it? Maybe a new streaming partner. You know, like where...
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I already consider this a win because my fiance knew about the books from me, although he had forgotten because he started reading it. He's like, I'm obsessed. English is his second language, and Spanish is his first language. And so he actually said, I'm fascinated with the Wheel of Time. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's amazing. And then a coworker today, when I texted him and told him it was canceled, he responded back and said, oh, that sucks. I was really getting into it. I guess I'm going to have to read the books. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you should have done that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's, we talk about that a lot, which is, and it's been Carly's experience, you know, fans finding the show and then, or, you know, just viewers finding the show and becoming fans of the material. And finding the books and joining a community, that is for me like the ultimate, like, you know, like one of the top 2 important outcomes here. One, just meeting other fans and having a place where the community can get together. But then people finding the books through the show and you know, again, becoming obsessed with it as much as I hope they do. You know, because I loved it too. So that's really cool to hear. You know, any what was the thought that you maybe called in and wanted to share?
Part of it was, you know, what we've already been talking about. That, you know, the series, it sucks that it's gone, but it's good that we had it. That we got to see some of the things that we were in our head. Somebody else had the way somebody else saw it, and put it on screen for us to see. And I think that was kind of cool to see the way some of the things were imagined.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I mean, Bree, like, was that part of the magic for you also? Was just like seeing the interpretation of the cast and crew and what they brought from the books onto the screen and just visually, like how they visualized it and then getting to experience that as a fan. Was that part of the joy?
Oh yeah, I have like 3 that I could not imagine how they were going to do, which was the wolf speak, and like I just thought it was so beautiful what they did. The Gray Man. I had literally asked, how are you going to make something that we can't notice, that we notice that we're not noticing? And then, I don't know, they did it. And then the columns, like all three of those things, I would have not have been able to imagine how to visualize those. And what creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you there, William. That's a great thing to share. I'm glad you called back after the again being around for the first season, and this feels like a good loop, a good end and beginning, or beginning and end moment. Any final thought you want to share? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to share a story that might tickle your memory of my calls in the first season. I was usually drunk, and also I got pulled into a convention by a friend of the staff, and Robert Jordan came, and I got to have dinner with him.
Cool.
In 2001.
That's awesome that you got to meet him. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. He was such a cool storyteller in person.
He was. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Bigger than life personality. What's so funny is he was very. I thought he was like pretty quiet, like, but when you got him talking, and he was telling stories, it was really cool. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate you coming back and giving us a ring. And yeah, I'm always a hopeful person. I'm pragmatic, but I'm an optimist. And so I'm hopeful to see, it's not the end. I'm always a believer in new beginnings and the potential chance for this to continue on. Who knows what's coming? So, well, thank you very much, and hopefully
the wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Absolutely. Hey, have a good one. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Take care.
Yeah. By the way, there's so many of you. You posted some things. Let me. Bezos spent the budget on his wedding. That's pretty good. Thank you very much for the tip. Make it make sense. Thank you very much. Yeah, Light Blinded Fools have never really deep dived into each episode. I bet there are still a few hundred Dusty Wheel episodes we can get out of the first 3 seasons. If you remember, me, Tal, Todd, and Frenzy tried to do this, and like we were trying to break down an episode, and we did we ever get through a first episode? Wasn't it like no, we didn't get through one. We did like 3 live streams or something. It was like 3 live streams, and we got through like the first 20 minutes, and it was like, oh man, we got content for years. We never went back and did that. So, how's the Innkeeper for the Dusty Wheel supposed to be featured in the show now? That's okay, Hopper.
Hey, you blink and you missed it.
Look, the Innkeeper was called, Lanfear's advocate by Lanfear. So honestly, the Innkeeper is still living. In like what else do I actually need after that moment? There wasn't much. And I can't remember if I showed this one ever. Oh yes, that was Innkeeper. Let me see if this one. This is a great question from Soundscape of Time. Do all the hosts have a favorite scene to look back on across all 3 seasons as a few happy memories from all of the sad? Yeah, that's a great question. Carly, is there something, as you just look back to the first 3 seasons, like that you're just like, okay, that was great television and loved that moment? It doesn't have to be a big moment or anything, but just something that sticks in your mind.
Oh man. I mean, I'll tell you, when I was watching the show for the first time, and I'll add the context of watching screeners before the show had even came out, and I couldn't talk about it with anybody. And I was like, let's just see what this Wheel of Time business is, because I sort of pulled rank at work and was like, I'm going to review the Wheel of Time. I knew it was like big fantasy show and would probably be up my alley, because as a child I spent my formative years in the library, borrowing every doorstopper book possible, and somehow Wheel of Time skipped over me. But I feel like I also just sort of have more of an inclination to enjoy those shows over a lot of mainstream critics. I'm not going to name names, but I think some of them are still kind of snobs when it comes to genre. But that said, watching season 1 and the first episode, I think the moment when I fully bought into what the show was doing was Moiraine and Lan fighting the Trollocs. Just the weave imagery, and then also the two of them fighting in tandem as Aes Sedai and Warder, I was like, I'm here for it. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
world building aside, trying to kind of familiarize myself with all the characters, really understand what everyone, what everyone's role was and all of that. Like, that scene to me was the moment where I was fully on board with the show. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, then it was kind of wild watching through season 1 and then not being able to talk about. I think I did DM Brie a lot though. I was like, I will not spoil anything for you, but I need you to.
I was so excited when Carly got into it because we've known each other for a long time from like the romance genre, and when she got into it, it was like so exciting for me. I was so excited. Every time I would watch an episode, I would be like DMing her, just like, "Yay! I can finally discuss this with you."
Yeah.
By the way, Carly, I'm really bad about this stuff. Someone asked me where I was like, oh yeah, I just kind of like the show. This show has never really been about like personalities so much. It's just like, these are fans. Yeah, this is Carly Lane Perry, and Carly is a senior TV editor for Collider. Is there anything else you would share with fans if they want to know who you are, where to follow you, and enjoy your commentary?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I'm technically Carly Lane on any like social media platform, I think, because Perry is my married last name that I added on. Professionally, I still technically go by my maiden name because ease and convenience. But so, and I'm technically a senior TV editor, critic, author, fan, nerd. I do. Yeah,
you do. How have I never asked you? I feel like, so what is the book like? What is the genre of the book, and like, what have you written?
Yeah, it's like it's a humor lifestyle book.
Okay.
It's called A Regency Guide to Modern Life. It's sort of written from the POV of a very similar, like if you know Bridgerton, it's very Lady Whistledown-esque, and it's sort of like she's giving Regency framed advice to modern day problems. So it's, and then I have an amazing illustrator who I worked with in coming up with illustrations for the book. So it's this sort of cute little coffee table book that, is fun to kind of flip through. But yes, I wrote that, gosh, it's been like 2 years ago now. But yeah, in my day to day, I'm a TV editor critic. So this is sort of I almost said wheelhouse, and then I was like, no, I hate that. I hate that pun. No, but this is my day job, is TV and reviewing TV and talking to people who make TV, and so that's me.
Yeah, anytime you got to speak with Natasha, I was like, go, Carly. Get as much information there as you can.
It was only the one time.
I know.
I honestly, I should have shot my shot during season 2 because I had a couple peers who got time with her, and it didn't even occur to me. And then I should have done it. But I did get to talk to her ahead of season 3, so with Rafe. So that was definitely a highlight for me. But I mean, honestly, even just getting to talk to this cast, getting to talk to the people that make the show, on a crew level over the last 3 seasons has just been so gratifying. Some of the kindest, most generous, amazing people in this industry. So like that experience alone, honestly, has been a professional and personal highlight for me.
Yeah, that's always been my experience. They've always been gracious. Especially, I've met more of the cast than the crew, but even among the crew that I've met, just really they care about the material, they care about their work, they care about how we feel about what they do, and always been really kind and open when invited and when allowed to speak about this. That was always my experience with Amazon. It was like, hey, we'd like to talk to this person. Like silence. I was like, but we would really like to talk to them. I know maybe you don't care to facilitate it, but we would like to talk to them. So, always been an amazing experience for me on this end too. Whenever, and especially this season, man, it was so cool to actually get a chance to speak with them. I think back to the fan premiere now. This makes me think back to that moment, and it was special, but it'll probably always be a little bit more special now. If this is the end of what we get for the Wheel of Time TV show, I still have hope there. But if this is the end, I will look back at that fan premiere and really be grateful that happened and had that opportunity. That was really cool. So everyone's out here Hi, friends. How's everyone holding up? Well, I feel like we're trying to be really rational on the this live stream. I think we've stayed pretty. There hasn't been too much ranting, if you will. Daniel Roman said, 100% seconding what Carly is saying about the Wheel of Time cast and crew being some of the kindest, most generous people to speak with in this industry. So, yeah. Yes. Is there anyone else here this sad? Yeah. You've definitely come to the right place if you want to kind of commiserate with fans about this. Bree, for you, same question. I like the one Carly picked out from season 1, episode 1. That one sold me on like, okay, they could do some cool stuff here. You know, they gave us a little Warder Aes Sedai moment. They showed us a piece that wasn't in the books. That was like their first moment of really digging in a way that I appreciated. Like I thought that the pushing Egwene off of the cliff thing, it was fun. It was interesting. It was new, but it was like, okay. But seeing the battle happen in the Two Rivers, that was a really cool moment where I was like, oh, they could bring some really interesting things that were just like off screen to the show. Is there anything that's kind of speaking to you as you think back on the last 3 seasons where it's just like, might have been a small moment, big moment, but one that just sticks in your mind?
I have so many of them, but I think the one I'm going to pick is from this season, from episode 7. It's from the Battle of the Two Rivers when Perrin like tells Fael to stay behind him and then says, kill the ones I miss. And then she jumps on top of some guy and just keeps stabbing him over and over again. And I was like, finally, the world's going to love Fael like I do. I've been waiting so long. And I loved the little interplay because it said so much about how he had like healed, how he had, grown past this like fear, how they were accepting each other. They were such a great working unit, almost like Lan and Moraine in the, episode 1. They were cutting through that battle together.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. I love a battle couple.
Yeah. The Perrin and Fael moment when she jumped up there is pretty epic. That's one of those where you're like, man, I would like some more of those. What you just did was you pulled out something that really hurt. It was like, great, and then we're never going to see it again.
Fael won't stab any more people for me.
No,
really
no more stabbing by Fael would suck. Innkeeper, do you have one that's sticking out?
This is a hard one, right? Like the recency bias is so like there's so much recency bias. This is tough. It's like it goes back to what is the like.
Just say the Finns. Just say the Finns.
All right. Okay. No, I have to give some background to like people ask about like favorite book, favorite like character, and I'm like I don't think I have one.
Yeah.
But like if we think about like favorite memory of first reading the Wheel of Time books, the first things I think of is usually when Matt goes through those doorways and it's like, what is happening? This is so crazy and so not what I expect from this book. And I think that, finally seeing that, I think, I'm glad we got that, that like for me personally, like that supplement to the memory I have of listening back, like reading the book. Like I remember that, like as a 13-year-old or whatever, like going back and opening The Shadow Rising and being like, wait, what did he actually say? Like what actually happened here? And like trying to figure it out, like after I read the book and being like blowing, like my mind being blown. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I realized as I was asking you all these, I don't know why I'm not showing them. We can relive them. We have the technology. So let me show Carly's first. Oh, that's a different stabbing.
Reanimate that with season 3 channeling.
Yeah, right. That look right there, that was so cool. That was one of my favorite moments.
Even though it's not season 3 channeling, I just got chills.
Oh, no,
that
totally,
was like the moment. It really was. It's a great one.
By the way, it is though. You go, oh wow, they did come a ways. we
Right,
we
exactly.
came a ways.
It's like I loved it when I saw that, and like
yeah.
now I look back and I'm like, imagine that if it was season 3 channeling.
Let me see if I can find this moment that you're talking
The
about.
music, the score.
Does anyone have the when Fail starts doing the stabby stab? Does anyone have a timestamp on that?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Okay, I think it's right
I
here.
watched
Oh.
that whole sequence so many times though, because the moment when Perrin picks up the hammer,
Yeah.
and the score kicks in, I literally
Yes.
sat there like, yes. It was so good.
Here we go.
Then show them.
Yeah, here it is. This part right here.
Stay behind me.
Stop trying to protect.
Kill the ones I missed. To me! Hold the square! We hold the square!
That was a good shot.
Push them back! Push them back!
I like your women's circle.
Where was the?
I think it comes after.
More stabbing. Is it before this or is it after?
I think it's
Oh, it's right here, maybe after.
right
There we go. When Cotton Fane starts running, it's so good.
I love
Oh,
this is
man.
the second season he does that. Like when Matt comes out the door and he's all smug and then he sees the dagger on the end of the stick and he's like, ah, run away, run away.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, every time I watch the battle, I realize I like it more like the first time, like I kept watching, going back and rewatching, and I was like, that is really good. Like that whole section of that Perrin Fail piece and just like the Two Rivers moment, really, really well done. Loved it.
Marin
like I see-
here.
I feel like I see new things every time I watch that sequence because there's so
Yeah.
much there, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember that. It's so good. It's so good.
And then to your point, I feel like we have to go. This is so good right here. Hold on.
Instruments of music or devices for making light.
What is that smell?
Do you carry them? No! No, I don't have any of those things. Where am I? What is your need, Matrim Kothon? How do you know my name? Speak. You have but 3.
What are you?
I love that moment. It's so good.
So good.
Speak of your need.
Eilfin. What I need is to stop getting bollocked about by every bloody magical force on this bloody planet! I'm sick of this one power!
There are memories racing through your mind. They are not yours. We can take them.
You can fix me.
The done is so well done. That's for sure.
Speak your last need.
What have you done? What have you just done? I know that smell. The fox den up by the old wisdom's house. It's always full up of dead things. My last need is I need to get the fuck out of here now!
Wise to ask leave taking.
Wow, when they did this line, I was just like,
Set no price, no terms. We will set the price.
The price?
What was asked will be given. The price will be paid.
What price?
man,
Yeah, the acting chops. It's just, yeah.
so good. For myself, I have to go. I've shown this one recently, but I have to go here. 1 second. Still one of the most epic parts
Shocker.
of the.
Shocker.
What's that? Shocker. Is one of the
Although,
most
wait,
epic.
if I think this is the one that you're gonna show,
Yeah.
do you like the end of it, or do you like the
Oh
start?
no, the whole. I mean, that's the whole
whole thing.
build up. This is
Yeah,
the
the
whole
whole-
like premise, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole
Although the
premise
end
of what the
is-
story we're told.
Yeah, yeah.
Like so, yeah, it's all of it. So we're gonna watch all of it, of course. Come on.
Amdana,
Mirin sedai.
elati kodome?
Tak, ai sedai. Belati flaxor. Ilan laga.
Jalati se.
Chia kai. Kama tueta, chelano valakai.
Valakai? Valakai ayes kadao.
Achoshiat. Gavane? Ane asajada.
Fonai tamarasi. Mojli tortu. Jayandar loje.
Lokai gavane.
Balden. Balden ayes sedane. Sahit. Ayes kadao. Mojlit cortista ayes athaan. Tarmbolar greal. Asa ninte walati. Tarmbolar luasterin aisadai. Spiatilan. Tarm pilan vid sovingsor.
Tak, no. Hilan, iva kucha lot vitsovin. Manu kucha kaz kasovinsa. Ferus muat basho so soriat. Kucha lot viva hilan.
Jalao. Yatsu ninte walati. Benuker.
Dainosane.
Duente ninte athanalan. Kama duet say.
Man, it's so good. It's a really good scene. It's really well crafted. Now she just show the peace sign like she did in the bloopers. Right? so good. Dang it. Oh, man. People are saying this in chat this whole time. They're just like, watching this kills me, you know.
She did nothing wrong.
Do you know the song exactly? Now I'm crying. Yeah, like this one is so. Oh man, Mike, do we just bury our dead and move on now? Is that all there is? Ah, that's brutal. Jeez, man. Lanford did nothing wrong, of course. True. No, like that's to take us to have gotten that. I think I can't remember who brought this up. Getting the columns in Meridian, getting Rand's walk back. Like for fans, for like family and friends, you know, people we know that are like, what's the wheel of time? Like getting to this moment, at least this is a portion of that story that has like it's like now they understand maybe some of the stakes of what the story is, and they understand some of the major players, and yeah, there is I guess some peace knowing that, you know, it's like, yeah, watch the first 3 seasons. That may, you know, if you don't like the story, like in my opinion, if it's just like, oh, there's a little bit of sci-fi in this, or there's a little, you know, like, what is this? I think it's a good way for people to enter in that may never have picked up a huge series like The Wheel of Time from the book's perspective. So yeah, it's really hard to see this sometimes, but although I want to point this out, I think that's definitely an analog for Egwene here. I want to theorize. This is my theory, but anyways, we can come back to those kind of things later.
Egwene analog, yeah.
Yes, it's an Egwene analog. Yosha deserved everything. Yeah, I mean Yosha. Yeah, I mean Yosha's talked a lot about, and rightfully so. For those of you watching, Yosha was amazing this season. Maybe for you, Carly, was there outside of Yosha, who was kind of the standout for you when it came to performances this season?
Oh man, I mean, if you had asked me, I feel like the answer definitely changed every season, because I think if you'd asked me like season 2, I would have said Maddie. Just that whole Shan Chan storyline, I think, is such a showcase for her. Season 3, I think season 3 for me felt like the closest to like a true ensemble. I think everybody got a lot of really great moments. Like Kira got a lot of really fun stuff to do as Elaine, and
yeah,
you know, Donal, I think, really had a chance to finally kind of come into his own as Matt, after having the task of, you know, having to really kind of pick up the baton in season 2, and the writers having to really sort of like figure out how to move forward after, you know, losing an actor. So, but yeah, I mean, it might be Laia Costa though, as Mogideon. If anyone, like, I don't think anyone was having as much fun this season as she was.
Yeah.
Just some of the choices were just completely inspired. But yeah, I honestly think across the board, season 3 really did feel like a true ensemble.
Yeah.
And everybody brought their A game. So I think you could just tell at this point, everyone was really comfortable in their roles. Everybody really had found their way with the characters. And so, that I think, was really demonstrated through not just the performances, but the writing too.
Yeah, Laia Costa was so good. Oh my gosh. Like, just bringing that up, I forgot. Like, season 3 is just so damn good. Innkeeper, do you have one, like, outside of Laia Costa and Yosha Stradowski, like, standout performances this season for you?
I think it's kind of very tied between Kira, I think, was really like very strong performance, but also really like good like stuff to work with, like episode 2 with the, you know, with the Andor royalty coming in, but then like on you know, coming out into her own, the ending with Balefire and Tom, like, was so good. But I like the biggest fan of what Donal's done with Matt, and that's like the saddest part is like, this was gonna, like, it was gonna get in, like, this is gonna be the Matt season next, right? Like, there's gonna be so many awesome things that we're gonna see of Matt finally coming on to his own. But I think those two just really good performances.
Oh man, I'm gonna show us a scene here shortly, but there's some callers. But Brie, I want to ask you, outside of those, for you, was there another standout that we haven't mentioned?
I mean, I feel like I have been blessed by like every person. You know, I loved Nynaeve and Egwene, and like Zoe and Maddie just brought it. I feel like the ones, even though they've both been mentioned, I feel like I should point out is like controversially, I am not either a huge Matt or a huge Rand fan in the books. They're just not my people, and I'm so mad at how much Yosha and Donal made me care about them, made me cry for them. Just it takes a really it's you know it's great when somebody embodies your favorite character, but when someone comes in and takes a character you don't like and makes you love them, that feels like sorcery.
Yes. Yeah, they yeah. It's wild. I mean, even just like Kate Fleetwood just
Right.
like it's so wild to go back and just think about Leander through the first 3 seasons and just like what a cool fun story that they wove with this character that's so unexpected. Like as a book reader, it's like why would I ever think that that this character would be somebody I would care about in this way? And so it's just a really cool effect. We have 2 other callers. By the way, we're going to probably end right around 5 o'clock my time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. It's about 20 or so minutes. Let me ask my guests here. Do any of you have to go? Or would you
I
like
might
to stay?
actually have to jump off.
Okay.
But it was so nice to be with you guys. Thank you for helping me mourn.
Yeah, absolutely.
The puppy is sad too.
No, and I'm sure there will be, again, for those of you watching, we're going to be live for another 20 minutes or so. But don't miss tonight if you want some more space to kind of chat with fans. I'm going to put this in chat here. Go to the Save Watt Wheelie Awards. Talk Around Riyadh's hosting those tonight. Jump in. They're going to be live here at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can jump into chat and kind of commiserate with fans if you're kind of feeling it. Or just want to be around some positive, interesting stuff for the Wheel of Time. Bree, thank you very much for being with us. Everybody,
You guys have a great night.
Everybody say goodbye to Bree. See you, Bree. Bye-bye. And Carly, I don't want to give you a chance. Do you need to go here, or do you want to stick around for the next 20 minutes?
Yeah, I do actually
Okay.
probably need to duck out as well. So
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you jumping in last minute. This was just something that happened today. I came home from work early, and I was like, oh, I got to hear what Bree and Carly have to say about this. So thank you very much for being with us, everyone. I think we put the link to Carly's where you can follow Carly on Collider. But yeah, really appreciate your insights into the industry and what you do, and so glad to have you among fandom. And I hope this isn't the last time we talk at the Dusty Wheel.
no, look, if we're gonna do a 12-hour live stream, maybe it can be a 12-hour live stream of me finishing the last book. I don't know.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yep. Innkeeper, and it was just us.
Yeah. Did you?
Chatting
I just
about the
saying,
Wheel of Time.
yeah. What series shared that
What did they share?
it's trending in the United States? Number 11 and 12 are hashtag the Wheel of Time and hashtag Save Watt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look
so
at that.
it's,
Let me
you know,
go. Let me. Where did they post that at?
I think this is X.
Let me see on X
This is
here.
X, yeah. But yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So that's
There you go. So go make Save Watt and the Wheel of Time trend out there. Go post on your social media and keep those trending as we go. So, let me bring our next caller in. We have 2 callers. We'll bring them both in, and then we will. I want to show a couple more clips, and like I said, we'll end in around 20 minutes. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, this is Light Blinded Fool.
Light Blinded Fool, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. It is a live call and talk show that you've just joined. How are you doing?
I'm in shock and denial, as I'm sure we all are.
Sure.
It's like I'm an Aes Sedai in the Age of Legends that just found out Lanfear drilled the boar and let the Dark One loose.
Right.
What do we do now, right? We have so much talent in this fandom, and what better way to work and play together than stepping up our new campaign,
Yep.
Like, I'm not great at organizing, and I don't know much about the industry or anything, but, I imagine, we need some Blue Aja to suss out the industry questions and, what's possible for getting picked up by another streaming service. Maybe some Brown and Gray Alliance on, putting together, letter writing campaigns and other ways to get Sony's attention. Maybe some green and blue combination to spread the word on social media, and White Aja do all the logistics and all that, I have some
You're like-
resources myself, but I'm not like great at organizing and all that. But I'm happy
Yeah.
to support like whatever organized sports we can put together, like however I can. There have been like many success stories of fans bringing their shows back in some form or another, right? Like so, like we've always said, or we riot. Well, now that time is here. So I'm
You're
asking you and the chat and everybody, like, how do we riot in a statistically the best fandom way?
You're like, bring the riot. I like it. Yeah, I mean, and that's, I guess what I would say is be following like fandom channels on social media, whether or not it's like Facebook. We've had a ton of interaction on Facebook this year, this season. But Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you know, I know there's a lot of Wheel of Time on TikTok, you know, Blue Sky, X. Be following fandom channels where you will hear about things that are going on like that. Like I know like people are saying like from renew Watt to save Watt. But yeah, I think this is where fan campaigns do come in. People were wondering, why are fans talking about this? Has it been canceled? Well, now it has. So that's why fans are talking about it. So like this Malcolm Talk said, Panda Riot. Exactly.
Did you see the tip there?
Oh yeah, go leave Loneliest Guy Sean. Leave a comment on the Deadline article. Certain people really pay attention there. There you go. That's a great tip from Loneliest Guy Don. Loneliest Guy Don. There you go. Loneliest Guy Sean.
Ooh, excellent.
I will link
that's
the
what
article.
We need, action steps.
The article, and it's in the description of the video. Yeah, while you're sitting here, like listening in, go open that up and leave a comment on Deadline. That's a great idea. So, thank you very much. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree with this. Tracy said, at least they didn't soft cancel. That would make me just furious. And with an axe to grind, as it stands, my Prime just canceled. So, yeah, I mean, I am grateful to know, right? So thank you. I much would rather not this be like 4 months and it's just quietly not happening or something. I'm actually grateful we know now, so we know what we're fighting for, if you will. But yeah, I Tracy, good comment there. That's reasonable. What is Light Blinded Fool for you, other than obviously wanting to do the most to go out there and make sure that this thing still has life into it, and we do see more of this, maybe with a different streaming platform. Like, what's your takeaway? Like, as you think back on the show, do you have kind of like a cathartic, I'm going to go back and watch this episode, or I'm going to go back and watch this moment because it really brought the Wheel of Time, or it really, made the Wheel of Time shine for me as a fan of the material?
Well, I'm definitely going to be rewatching as much as I possibly can. I hope to be able to get my grubby little fingers on some Blu-ray discs, so I don't have to watch it on Prime. But I'm going to try to figure out how to keep watching the show without it being on Prime if possible. In any case, my real takeaway is that I found the fandom because of the show, and we have 24 plus hours of Wheel of Time on screen that we can watch or have watched, and that is fantastic. Like, regardless of whether we get more, and I sure do hope we get more, we have that, and we still have the books. So, and we have the community, and the community, I think, is the main reason why I've been so into the show. Like, the show is great. Like, I love it. I want it to continue. But, like, to me, like, just finding the fandom through it is the bigger gift. So there's that. We're all here together with this, and we can, rest on each other's shoulders and all of that as this happens. And, hopefully we can get some kind of an organized, like, real fandom push in a positive and, just statistically the best fandom way to show them that we're dedicated and we want this. And then, maybe Apple TV or somebody else will pick it up. And, after seeing all that, you never know. We can have fun doing it. We can all come together for that and continue to, have a great time in the fandom, even with the show in that way. And, even beyond just coming together for the books themselves and what we already got.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's will always be the case. if you were back there back in the day, reading the books along, the amount of times fans fell off after certain books, you'd like somebody be like, okay, that's it. I can't follow this story anymore. I don't like it, whatever. And fans would be like, no way, I can't give up the community I've been part of and developed. So yeah, that's for me, what the biggest thing will always be is, and I think you've heard us all talk about this. Like we get to the actual season and it's fun to do the live streams during the season, but the most fun is everything up until we get something, in my opinion. Like those live streams, those 12-hour breakdowns. And that's just because it's like fans being ridiculous and absurd and hardcore with without any with the smallest amount of material, but just having a lot of fun. So I hope you will continue to show up for live streams. I hope you will join Discord channels and join fandoms on social media and read the books, go back and watch the shows, talk about this world that Robert Jordan created, and continue to be part of a community like this. And Light Blinded Fool, you don't have to worry. We will, at least here at the Dusty Wheel, we'll be back for sure, man. Thank you very much for calling in and for all you do and for being part of this community and for sharing those thoughts as we all, heard this news today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thanks for going live. It really helps everybody.
100%. Yeah.
Talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, we do have a caller from outside the country, so let's get them in here shortly. I want to show this from WatCon official said, Prime Video has succumbed to the Dark One's taint. No, we will not call it corruption. Today's news about the Wheel of Time shows fate has left us all feeling sad, disappointed, disillusioned. In the midst of all these big, big feelings, our community and our fandom remain our North Star. This beloved story and the characters that inhabit it will always be there, and so will we. We'll take some time to process and then get back to planning an amazing WatCon where we can all laugh and cry and drink and dance and sing and talk and laugh together again. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills, as it wills, and we stand ready for the next turning when it comes. Your friends at WatCon. So I hope to see many of you at WatCon, by the way. Let's bring our next caller into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello?
This is Edward from the UK. Hello.
Edward, thank you very much for holding. I
me?
know we made you wait 12 minutes. I apologize for the long distance call and any charge that you incurred by waiting. But thank you very much for calling in. And tell us a little bit what was your thoughts? What did you want to say?
I'm kind of a bit devastated at the moment over the news. And I've thankfully this season, however, I've managed to watch it with 3 of my housemates because I've recently moved and found 3 friends that have already watched it. Well, 2 of them already watched it. One of them we've managed to persuade to join us. And it's a bit devastating, this news, but hopefully someone else will pick it up. But if not, I've made some lifelong friends both online, over the world, and in person. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's been, how did you end up coming to the Wheel of Time? Was watching the show? Is that how you became familiar with it? Were you reading the books beforehand? What was your fan journey?
So I got bought a book by my mother in 2017, so when I turned 17.
Nice.
And I read that, and I enjoyed it, and I read through them, and then I got my brother to read them, and then got the show announcement. I was excited, and so I began from there.
That's awesome. 2017, what a good time to jump in. With the show coming out soon after that. How long did it take you to finish the books?
Oh, I think it. So I had a break in the middle because I had some family stuff going on. But apart from that, it took me about 3 months to finish them all.
Wow,
I'm a quick reader.
That's. I thought you were going to say I had something come up, so it took me a year or 2, and you said 3 months, and I'm like, wow, that is to have other things in life come and get in the way. 3 months is pretty quick. Innkeeper, you were also surprised, I think, at 3 months. I saw your face.
Yeah, I was like, 3
years?
No.
So 3 months, man. When it comes to the show, this season, I think, as universally fans have loved it the most. Is there a standout episode or scene from this season that was the most meaningful to you as a book reader?
It's either episode 4 as a whole, which I feel like is common within the fandom of just, that was amazing, something I've been wanting to see since I've read it, or the rain as the Aiel coming down in episode 8. That I loved so much because it was something that was emotive to me in the books, and I was like, seeing that on screen. And I'm just ashamed we're not going to see, well, hopefully we'll see it, but at the moment we're not going to see Dumber Swells.
Man.
But that was something I was really looking forward to seeing as well.
Yeah, I mean, to see what they put together, like you said, for episode 4, to see how they brought the end of this episode with Rand and the Aiel, man, it really felt like they were getting somewhere from a development perspective when it came to their voice, like how they were making choices about pieces of the book to adapt. I just thought overall, like everything from the writing, from the adapted moments, everything was better. And so I was like, shoot, like knowing that Dumais Wells was coming, that's so. Yeah. And so it's harsh. It's a harsh reality of this moment. But like you said, I guess I think I've said this during the show. I want to be optimistic here. I just tend to be optimistic, and until Sony or somebody comes out and says there'll be no, there's no more ever, whatever, at least for the next decade or so, I'll always be hopeful that, something will come of this and we can continue the story. And I guess I'm hopeful that another streamer, they can work with, another company and somebody else will pick it up. They'll see, just like how much of an engaged and hopeful fandom there is, and want to take this on. Edward, thank you very much for calling in to the show. Really appreciate your thoughts. And I'm glad we were able to kind of commiserate together today, hearing this news.
And thank you very much for the amazing streams and everything. I just want to give a big thanks because I've watched many of them, and thank you very much for them all.
You're 100%. You're welcome. That's one of our favorite things to do. I talked to my fellow Innkeeper here, and there's just something about going live and talking to fans live that will always just feed both of our souls, forever. So hopefully we'll continue to do some Wheel of Time live streams here, and hope you'll join us. Thank you very much for calling in, and have as much of a good evening as you can with this news.
I will do. Thank you. It's about midnight here, so I'll probably get to bed soon.
Get some sleep. Get some
thank
sleep.
you.
Okay. Yep. Hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thanks, Edward. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Really cool. We do have one caller. We'll bring them in here shortly. You'll have to wait, caller. You are our final caller, and as tradition around here, sometimes we wait until the last minute to bring you in. I saw that you were waiting, and then you hung up, probably because you were waiting too long, and now you're back. And yes, I'm rudely making you wait a little bit longer. But I want to show this scene. This one's going to hurt me. Hopefully I'm trying to hurt you, but in a good way, because we're watching the Wheel of Time. So this scene, and knowing we don't get follow-up scenes to this moment will bother me for a very long time. But let's watch it. I hope you enjoy this as much as you enjoyed it the first time.
Wipe off your skirt and never think about it again.
Oh, not this
So,
scene.
go.
I was like, wait, I don't want to see that scene again. Here we go.
But I do. Come here by the light. I can see you both clearly. No more than girls. And very trained. Strong though, both of you. You especially. You've blocked yourself. Why?
I'm afraid of it. My power. All that power, I hate it, I think.
Oh. In my time, we would have beaten that out of you. No matter. It serves me for the time being. Fan Siv. Are there any other Aes Sedai with you? It's just us. We're not Aes Sedai. We're accepted.
Ah. There was no one else that Emmeline could trust to find Leander and end the Black Haja.
And what have you found out so far? Their names? Their names? Ispan Shafar, Jian Kaida, Naomi. I know their names.
I know the names.
Is Sean Jankola. But this one is for a man. The Dragon Reborn, we think. We can't let her call around.
No. Do you know where he is? The dragon.
No. But we'd tell you if we did.
Yes. Yeah. Have you found out anything else about this bracelet or collar? Huh.
We found the second bracelet today.
Did you? Clever girl. Go and fetch it for me. You're fighting me. You should be proud. You did what the Black Aisha could not. Now, Ravin wants you dead. My grey men have tried twice and missed, but I like it when he doesn't get what he wants. And you... You've both proven yourselves to be very useful to me tonight. Maybe I'll come back. See you again.
That would make us very happy.
Yeah. And you let me do whatever I want. Obey my every command. Good girl. You'll remember nothing that happened here. Except that I came knocking on the wrong door. Then went on my way.
The wrong door, of course.
Just you know,
What were we talking about?
fascinating like that. Guys, I actually have to actually take our last caller here, and then I've got to go, unfortunately. But there is more to happen this evening. Like I said, let's bring our final caller in the show and see what they have to say. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, it's Jen Sedai.
Jen Sedai, how you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm terrible. How are all y'all?
Yeah, I know, right? Basically, I think there's always an important part of commemorating an end of sorts, and this is an end. Hopefully there's some beginnings here later, but maybe let me leave it to you, knowing I have to step away here shortly. Is there something that, thought you wanted to share, question for the audience, or just kind of a reason you really wanted to call in?
Yeah, and truth be told, I was rushing home to jump on to watch the show, so I missed a little bit of the beginning with Carly and Bree, but
Yeah.
You know, just like, of course, everybody's talking about, are they going to sell it? And I just wanted to, like, you know, put out that reminder and that hope that it is. When my show got canceled, the first thing I heard was, we're going to shop it around. We're talking to other places. So it's not uncommon, and it's,
right.
you know, and it is a definite possibility. But we have a couple of other things in our favor for that as well, which is that the cast and crew love each other. There's so much internal love. Like, if you have a cast who's like, oh God, I just wanted that show to be over anyway, then that's so much less likely, because you won't be able to, you know, fold everybody back in. But we have a cast and crew that just love it. Creators that love it. You know, it is a really strong IP. And then, you know, we also have rights holders who don't take no for an answer and who don't give up. So, you know, the other side of it is we have these people who've shown us that they don't want to quit. They want to make sure content gets out here. So those are all things I think that are positives to hang on to without giving any kind of false hope, because anybody who tries to say they know what's going on in this industry right now is selling you beachfront property in Arizona, because it's, you know, the industry is really, really upside down. Nobody who's here knows what's going on, from executives down to creators. You know, we're all, you know, basically walking the waves when it comes to Hollywood right now. So, you know, there's a lot of that, but there certainly is hope. And to mirror what Light Blinded Fool said, you know, we're all here because we found this amazing community, and that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to hear. I mean, again, from the outside in, it's like you hear about these things. You're like, oh, cool. They moved the show to another, you know, whatever, in this case, a streamer or something. Like, awesome. So it's possible. Mm-hmm. But hearing you say that is that gives me more hope, I guess. You've ended the show on the right foot, which
season 4 confirmed.
Jens and I basically just confirmed season 4, everybody. So we're good. Don't worry about it. No,
there it is.
So no, that it actually is really good to hear you say. I'm going to end this poll. It kind of is in line with this. Almost 1,000 of you have voted in this poll in the last hour. In Prime's video's absence, who'd you want Sony to partner with? 48% of you are Apple, 39% HBO, and the rest are kind of split between Disney and others. So there's some love for the idea of an Apple or HBO, you know, shopping here. Hopefully that's on the table. You know, I hope that they see this as a, you know, a possibility to find someone else, like you said. No one maybe knows what's going on, and hope they're not giving up so easy. That's my hope, and you know, hope that they're, you know, listening for other fans to kind of mention, you know, and talk about it and see if there's interest. So I just looked. My wife just entered the door here and let me know that someone is here that is waiting for me. So I do have to go. Jen, I'm sorry that the call is short, but thank you for ending us on the right note. And to many more, I guess, Dusty Wheel shows and live streams, we'll have you back, and so we can talk more about this in the future. Okay.
Sounds great.
We'll talk to you soon. I'm sorry I have to let you go. See ya.
Okay. No worries. Bye.
Innkeeper, and for those of you, thank you very much for watching us. And remember, in 2 hours we have the Wheelie Awards, and then tomorrow is a full 12-hour rewatch. So there's still more to come. And that's it, everybody. Sorry, I have to jump away. Innkeeper, thank you very much for being with me. And as we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel, and smash to black. You went right to kill it. Look at you, you're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like, this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the two rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So,
just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm not white.
I see Lucomi as something along the lines of a Shadow Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge! Yay!
Pair of like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just
like,
a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
And
elements.
just a
for
moment
those that are
ago,
kind of interested.
Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,